What's up, y'all? It's Mimi, and this is Producer Talk on Producerculture TV. And today we have special guest Turbo.
Yep, Turbo, Mr. Run That Back Turbo himself. I'm here.
Run that back, Turbo. Run that back, Turbo.
So first, before we get into the interview, I got like a few icebreaker questions so like we could get to know you a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
So if we still use ringtones today, what would your ringtone be?
Damn. Like a song from today?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good ass fucking question. My ringtone would probably be Appreciate It All by Larry June. That's my last placement that came out.
That's hard. So, okay, if you got your heart broken, what would be the first song you listen to?
Fuck Nigga Free from Glorilla.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, fuck that bitch, man.
If you could work with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So what part of Atlanta are you from?
I'm from the South Side. College Park. National, really, just to be specific. But like this whole little area, even the part that we in, like I grew up in this whole just area, this southwest type of area of Atlanta.
Oh. Yeah. So being that you're from Atlanta, do you feel like that influenced your sound?
Hell yeah. That created my sound. That's where my sound stemmed from. That's where it's rooted in right now. So definitely. So
what are some of your hobbies like outside of music? What else do you do?
I've been going to the gym a lot. We ride ATVs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole little bike life thing that's going on in Atlanta. Like, you know, I get out there sometime from time to time.
No bad vibes.
Whatever to just stay creative. You know what I'm saying? Any type of new shit that I could do, hike, like weird shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been having a whole lot more time with my hands. So I just been doing like shit I never did before, like hike. You know what I'm saying? And walk through the woods and.
How was hiking?
It's cool. I seen Mike Will doing it.
Mm.
And he was like, you know, I'm from Atlanta, so like he was in places where I'm like, I didn't even know this type shit existed in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And kind of by my house, it's like trails and shit that you can basically go into and just end up somewhere in the middle of the woods and like waterfall or something will just pop up. So it's been cool. It's new.
You ever go biking?
Like bicycle? Hell no.
You wouldn't try that?
In the woods?
Yeah.
Hell no.
That's what the trails are for too.
Nah, but that shit, like, imagine, like, I always been afraid of doing, like, some dumb shit, like breaking my ankle or something, doing something, like, dumb.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you inside the woods and you break your ankle, like, that shit just stupid. I want to break my ankle fighting or doing something, like, you know what I'm saying? That's, yeah, like, not riding a bike through the woods. Like, hell no.
You ever do, like, go-karting?
Yeah, we be going to Andretti's and shit a lot from time to time. We'll rent out Andretti's and go and bowl and do the go-kart shit up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say are your top 5 rules for studio etiquette?
Shut the fuck up. Nah, I'm just playing. For one, come in and do what you're supposed to do, whatever it is you do, whether you're a photographer, engineer, producer, like do that to like the highest ability. You said 5? Listen before you speak. Don't take no pictures. I hate when people like say, just like how me and you in a conversation right now, we might be having a conversation and then somebody pick up their phone and we're talking about some important shit or whatever and you just hear that zoom and whatever the person is talking about or whatever they doing, they start talking, you know what I'm saying, as they walking out. Like, I'd rather you just walk out and then answer your call.
Right.
And do whatever and say whatever you're gonna say. That's probably 4. And then don't bring too many people with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate when I'm expecting one person and you see like 2 or 3. It kind of throw your vibe off, especially if I don't know them.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that at all.
I hate that. I hate in the studio with too many people.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any like bad studio sessions or like not if it's not necessarily bad but like awkward?
Yeah. Plenty of those.
Tell us a story.
Let's see. Okay, I wouldn't say it was a bad studio moment, but it was awkward. So same shit. One of my buddies brought one of his buddies. You know what I'm saying? And you ever been in the studio and the music super loud and then it just stopped?
And you
And you talking and shit like that.
all the time.
This time he was farting. And it was like a real nigga fart, like no, and the music just stopped. And then like everybody turned around and looked at this nigga and it's like, I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? So that make it even worse. Like you and this motherfucker farting, you farting loud, and I don't know you. So that shit was like one of them real awkward moments, and it's like, you know, niggas got gas, so I understand that, but it's like, nigga, you
could have
rude.
stepped outside.
You rude, like you a real fuck nigga, like, and you just was gonna get it off, like. So that was one awkward one for me. That actually happened like a year and a half or two ago. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was like not that long ago. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of recent. Yeah, that's wild. So, what about your best studio session? What was that like?
I can't just say my best because I had a lot of great studio sessions, but I was just with DJ Mustard, and he had like a studio set up in like this just crazy house or whatever, and I had never seen nothing like that. And we invited like a few musicians, and just like we had food and, you know, photographers and shit like that. So like that's one like on the top of my list. You know what I'm saying? That was like cool. You see a nigga that's, you know, from the street just like me, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And we was really in here like creating some just incredible music. And it was like a view, you could see the ocean, like it was just beautiful, you know what I'm saying? So that was definitely like up there on my list. I done had a lot of great sessions though, and it's like whatever you choose to, I got a few different reasons why I call them great. That's why I can't just pick one.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing the music from that.
Yeah, hell yeah, great music.
So tell us about the studio that you built. It's like an eco studio, right? And what are your plans for it?
Yeah, so on the property is 3 buildings, and the eco hut is actually just one of them. It's like self-sustainable. You could basically put this eco hut anywhere in any type of environment, rain, sleet, or snow, and basically be able to like live off of it. So that's really why I bought the property. But yeah, I'm just trying to like make a staple, you know what I'm saying? Like make a compound in Atlanta, because I've been watching like a lot of documentaries lately, and, you know, not to just go super in depth, but all of them have always had like a studio, you know what I'm saying? Or something where they could come and work, and it's not, you know, I gotta be in here for 2 hours or 8 hours or whatever, and then I know I gotta leave. Like I don't create like that. I might go in the studio and spend the first 3 hours watching movies and smoking, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm on a time limit or if I got a shift, it's like I can't really get into that bag. And, you know, when I'm able to relax and take one shoe off and shit like that, that's like my best studio session. So I'm trying to create that environment where you can come here, everything is here, whether it's food, musicians, you know what I'm saying, a quality studio, whatever you need, to where you don't have to leave, and basically have that in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot of guys I looked up to when I was coming up that had studios, and more so I didn't know them coming up. Like one of the specific ones was Tricky Stewart, and I'm just really getting super in tune with Tricky like discography, but I used to always hear his name because he had a legendary studio in Atlanta. So niggas would be like, Tricky Stewart. Like I want to have that same type of, you know what I'm saying, impact in my city. So, you know, we bought the property. It's a good enough space. Right now, we're just doing construction, and then once we get into that, then it's, you know, it's all vibe.
That's hard. So what is the studio called?
We picking a few names. I don't got nothing specifically. A few options. The compound. The studio. What else? The great studio.
You thinking about including like a little like creative space for like?
Yeah. It's space for all that. Yeah, like, you know, photography and shit like that. That's not really like my main focus, but it's definitely
like
space.
Room,
yeah, it's space for it for sure.
So how and why did you transition from an engineer to a producer?
So, and I don't want to step on nobody's toes. You know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate our engineers. You know, we need them. But for me, I always had a passion and love for like creating music. That's how I got into it, making beats.
Right.
And I got good at engineering to just make money. You know what I'm saying? Like in my neighborhood, I could charge niggas, they'll come, I can record them, and possibly they're either gonna buy a beat or I'm just gonna have an opportunity for a nigga to rap on my beat. So it got to the point to where now I'm just known as like the engineer nigga in the neighborhood, and I can mix songs. And you know, back then it was like mix and master, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, it was like a one-stop shop. And I was probably like 19, and I looked up how much do engineers make like a year, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't really like that number for like the amount of work that I know, you know, you do. And then even still, that wasn't even like a moving around type engineer. That was like an engineer that's on a salary, you know what I'm saying, and working with a specific artist or a specific label. Like they was making a certain number that I didn't want to make, you know what I'm saying, because it was a lot of work and I didn't really have a passion for it. So it was always some money shit to me. And whenever I get engulfed in something, like I always just try to do my best at it. So I started getting more notoriety as an engineer before like my beats and shit. So that's kind of, it was already in the transition periods. It just like one thing went off before the other.
So what makes you different from other producers?
Sure, what makes me different?
You tell me. What you think makes you different?
I can't really speak for other niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't really. I feel like I'd be obnoxious if I was just saying like what make me different. Me waking up and goddamn doing what I do every day. So some producers probably don't even brush their teeth when they wake up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? True. So that could alone make me different. But you know, for me, I try to like see a project all the way through. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to like really put my all into it, or we not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of going through some shit like that right now with a video that I shot as an artist. You know what I'm saying? That I wanted to put out, and it just wasn't exactly what I wanted, so I don't want to put it out. You know what I'm saying? But I treat that with like whether it's a song or album, you know what I'm saying, anything, like I try to see it all the way through, and whatever value I can bring to it, whether it's like producing or, you know, the shit I know from engineering, or a nigga that I might know that can do something very well. Like I'm always like one of them niggas that's trying to make it the best as possible. It's not really about getting the like notoriety for it.
So would you consider yourself like a perfectionist?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
But more so a producer. A lot of niggas is beat makers. You know what I'm saying? Like any real producer is a perfectionist, because you're really the one that's controlling everything for real. You know what I mean? Like, so you had a vision, you gotta be a perfectionist, or you gonna let some shit slip. And whether like people notice it or not, like for me it'd be like the deciding factor of like the songs that are lifetime songs, and then the songs that are just like, you know, summer hits, or, you know, stay around for a couple months, couple years. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can tell the niggas that put their all into it.
Yeah, you trying to make classics.
Yeah, for sure. Everywhere, everything though.
So are you a producer or are you a super producer?
What's the difference?
I was actually gonna ask you that. Like, what do you think it takes to be a super producer? Catalog
for one. Mm-hmm. You can't really call yourself super unless you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you gotta have that catalog. You gotta be able to say, yeah, this is what I did, and this is, you know what I'm saying, this is why people know me. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's really how far are you willing to go with it. You know what I'm saying? Like some super producers, if I had to, you know, example, like call certain people super producers, it'd be Timbaland, Pharrell, Swiss Beats for sure, Justice League.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too in depth, but those are like off the top of my brain, like super producers. Like ain't nobody finna play with those niggas' legacy. Like, and they got the catalog, they got the artistry. You know what I'm saying? The name, like, you know those people for them. You don't know them for like some shit that they was a part of.
Right. Do you think that's the only thing that makes you a super producer? Just catalog?
Nah, but that's top level. You know what I'm saying? Like that's high level. Like, because to have a catalog, you have to go through all the other shit that I would name. You know what I'm saying? To basically be a super producer, like all of those things you have to do to get the catalog, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't even no point in going all the way in through it.
That makes sense, though.
They know what they did to get their catalog.
So what would it take for a producer to be able to work with you?
Shit, do a great job, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go off of like genuineness for one, and then genuineness for sure, and then talent after. You know what I'm saying? And then it's work ethic. So those three things. You know what I'm saying? If you a genuine nigga, you ain't no nigga that's like prairie dogging for no placement. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you a genuine nigga, that's gonna be cool. If you talented, that's gonna be great. And if you gonna be a hard worker, that's gonna be even better. Because even the most untalented nigga can be a hard worker and still be successful. Even the most genuine nigga can goddamn not be talented and still be successful. You know what I'm saying? So those are like the things that I look for, because I done had a lot of bad experiences where like niggas just being fuck niggas. And when it's time to put a placement out, it's like you thinking about yourself instead of the overall
vision.
Yeah, so yeah, that I learned my lesson like early on with that type shit. Like one of my first like major placements, like I learned that lesson.
So you're picky about like who you work with?
Most definitely.
Yeah, but I think you kind of have to be in this industry though. So
yeah, but some niggas are just not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but me, hell yeah, super picky. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think the significance of tags are though?
It's your brand. Shit is super significant. It's just like your name. You know what I'm saying? Like if your name is Reginald Bartow or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like people gotta know. Like exactly, you know what I'm saying? But niggas is gonna know whoever Reginald is. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna know, you know what I'm saying, a little black shawty or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like as far as your tag, that's the easiest way to get your brand off. You know what I'm saying? Like if people hear your tag and if you on a hot song, it's like, you know, that's the whole goal is to like get up a level. You know what I'm saying? And like once you get people to pay attention to you, then you can make them pay attention to whatever type of content you got.
That's very true. So what was your first major placement like, and how did you feel in that moment? What was your reaction?
I wouldn't call it my first major placement, but it was like one of my first major artists, and I had got paid for it. And it was a song with T.I., Shot the God, and Cap G. And me and Cap G grew up together, so that was like one thing on some like home team type shit. But just to have a song with Tip, you know what I'm saying, being from Atlanta, it was like, you know, it was just some cool shit. And they had paid me for it. They had put the song out, and yeah, I was pretty happy about that shit. I think I got like $1,000 for it or something. So I was for sure happy.
The payment didn't even matter though. It was like just the having that placement.
I just used to be happy when niggas would rap on my beats.
Yeah.
That's why it's like niggas is spoiled these days. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be a loop nigga and you crying about, you know what I'm saying, some percentages or some little shit. Like I used to just be happy about a nigga rapping on my beat.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's like niggas is going to loop free, royalty free sites, putting a filter on the loop, and then making the clearance process clogged up. And then in my position, you know, they don't know whoever, you know, the guy that did the loop. You know what I'm saying? They know this is Turbo Beat, and now we having a problem clearing Turbo Beat. So now, you know, to whatever like artist, it's like I'm tripping. So that's why I'm super picky with niggas. Like, you know, it was all about just like the work, and even still, it's all about like the legacy. It's not about like this placement or that placement. Like that shit, it's corny.
I don't like to beat up loop makers because I feel like they really just going off of what they see. Like they're watching these interviews, so they're just listening to what different producers say. So like instead of beating them up, what I like to do is I like to ask producers like, what advice would you give them to make them better?
If you're gonna do that, really do it. So it's a difference between a looper and a musician.
That's true.
Two totally different things.
Of course.
So, you know, and I'm gonna get super specific because this is fucking producer culture. You know what I'm saying? If you are a musician and you played everything, you can break this shit down. You know what I'm saying? So when it's time for me to clear whatever I'm trying to clear and I ask you for the track out, every song is gonna be, every sound is gonna be separated. It's not, you're not finna send me one loop.
Right.
A loop nigga is gonna send me one loop. And now when we're mixing it, I can't turn down this high ass flute that's inside your loop, or you know what I'm saying, whatever sounds I can't master it and make it specific to how I would want to sound because you didn't really compose this shit. And that's like one deciding thing where I'm like, okay, I can't work with this person no more. Once I see however you sent it to me, I can't use this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga didn't really make this. This nigga probably got this from somewhere, and it's gonna be an issue. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not beating niggas up. I'm just calling like it is. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
like, you know, I wouldn't say, like, what I would say to be better is, like, if you're gonna be a loop guy, like, really learn how to compose something. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, you know, learn your scales. Know how to tell me, you know, what key this shit is in, just straight off your ear.
Yeah, because you don't even have to technically play an instrument. Like, you could honestly click it in, but, like, it's just, you just got to take the time to learn that skill.
But that when you touch it, it's a totally different feel as opposed to when you clicking it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I click some shit in every once in a while, but for the most part, like, it's just too on time. And honestly, like, I might mistakenly play something way better. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather just play it, exercise my fingers, and that might just be the distinct thing, like Zaytoven. Like, the way he plays and the way he swing his shit is why he's Zaytoven.
That's true. So what other instruments do you play besides keys?
Shit, not really. You know what I'm saying? The piano, I got this this little, like, I think it's called a Hana or some shit like that. That I just bought that I've been kind of learning how to play, and the harmonica.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah. A lot of people don't play the harmonica.
Yeah, some southern shit.
So you think music theory is important as a producer?
Yeah. You got to know the basics. It's like walking. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna call yourself a producer, how the hell you don't know how to call out a key? You know what I'm saying? Find a tempo. You know what I mean? It's you basically a baby.
Can you reshoot music?
Reshoot?
No, read sheet music.
Nah. I'm more so like a by ear, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so if something is playing, then I can find out the key just from listening to it. But nah, I want to though. I want to learn.
That's not hard. I think you could do it.
Yeah. I'm still growing.
So how did you meet Thug and Gunna?
Through Shot the God. But me and Gunna grew up in the same, like, neighborhood, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I would always run into Gunna, but our rapport and our real, like, friendship started just from being around Shot. Yeah, and that just naturally went from Gunna to Thug, you know what I'm saying, Tip and everybody else. Yeah.
It just kind of like, you introduced me to this person introduced you to this person, and just kind of like being around.
I wouldn't even say it was an introduction. It was more so like being around, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I'm around, and, you know, you might need something one day. You might need an engineer. You might need a producer, you know what I'm saying? And because you meet a lot of those guys, they meet all type of people, you know what I'm saying? As far as like Thug and Tip, you know what I'm saying? Gunna, he already knew me, you know what I'm saying? But those guys, it's like, they'll meet you, but they got to remember, like, what do you do again? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how my rapport started with them. You know what I mean? Just working and being available. So
availability was like your advantage.
Yeah, hell yeah. I always was. I was always there. You don't got to call nobody.
And I feel like that's what a lot of producers, that's where they mess up. Because, like, if you want to do it, you got to make yourself completely available. Because if you're not available, how you going to, you know?
Not even just producers, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you do, like, you got to make yourself available. If you do it, would you only do it on Tuesdays? You know what I'm saying? Like, every day. you gotta be available. And for me, it was like, at whatever time, nigga could call me right now. Hey, man, I got to go. You know what I'm saying? Let's finish this shit up. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go on to whatever my next little play is. But, yeah, and that don't stop. That's the same thing, like I'm saying, with music theory. Like, that's normal. I can't call you at last minute and you be here in an hour. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? How are you trying to be any type of legendary or even run with the legends?
On Quarantine Clean with Thug and Gunna, like, you were the lead artist. How did that, like, come about?
So it was quarantine. Niggas didn't know what was going on with COVID, and we wasn't going too many places. And Gunna had a studio inside his house at that time. So just naturally, you know what I'm saying, I'm just pulling up on my brother every day, and we're just working, you know what I'm saying? And we all frustrated about just quarantine and fucking COVID and shit, and that's how the song basically came about. We used to have like a club quarantine type situation going on in his house where we'll just all be over there, we'll be playing music, making music, doing whatever. But it was like an everyday thing, which wasn't normal because we'll be in and out of town and doing shows and doing shit. So being in one spot for 2 weeks straight, a month straight, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, damn, I'm not used to this, you know what I mean? And at the time they wasn't dropping music. So I was like, you know, I'll drop it. You know what I mean? I want to drop it. Let's put Slime on it and shit, we gonna drop it. And called Thug. He did it, sent it back in an hour. We dropped it in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And it was more so like to hone in on what was going on. I didn't really think, you know, to like get any type of accolades or anything from it. It was just like, yeah, we in quarantine. Like we quarantine clean, we happy. You know what I mean?
Is it necessary for producers to move with the trends and current affairs?
What you mean?
Like the trends going on in the world, like adapt to them, like how a lot of kids on TikTok are doing like that hip dance. Like, so certain producers are making like beats that go correlate with that dance. Like,
yes and no. Yes and no. I guess you could do it and put your own spin onto it, but you know, at some point you have to be like your own person. You know what I'm saying? To have your own sound. That's kind of like how you gonna, you know, elevate past it. So I guess it just depends. If you enjoy doing it, then cool. You know what I'm saying? If you can make it and it's easy for you and it's just a day's, you know what I'm saying, work, then cool.
So what are some upcoming projects or deals that you're excited about?
Deals I can't speak too much about, but I am excited about some new shit that I'm launching. That's specifically for me, and I have a whole story behind it. So, you know, we gonna talk about that later on. But the next project that we doing, me and Shad the God is doing a project right now. So we probably 80% done with it, and it's like the mixing and the video process right now. And once we do that, we're gonna try to find somebody to get behind it and put like some marketing plans behind it and do something that's not just us, you know what I'm saying, and try to really make it a moment, because the music is so like crazy. And then we're doing a documentary because a lot of people don't know me and Shad relationship, you know what I mean? Like, we was doing everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was the first person that taught me how to do a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? Moving in the street and just the studio etiquette that I'm talking about. So right. We got like a 45-minute documentary that we're gonna put out with the album, and it's basically gonna explain like why we doing the album, who the Playmakers are, who is Shad and Turbo and why they connected, you know what I mean? And the music is just gonna explain itself.
That's exciting. So when can we expect that?
This year.
Okay, cool.
This year for sure. I don't got no super date on it, but like I said, we 80%, 85% done. So this year.
What can we expect to see in the documentary, and what was the process like with filming it?
So it's a lot of like old footage. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't know me, Shad, and Weezy out of here. Like, we slept on the floor together for years. Like 5-6 years of like waking up every day on the floor, whether it's Atlanta or LA, and putting all our money together to eat. You know what I'm saying? One nigga buy the weed today, one nigga buy the food today, and shit, we gon' go and we gon' make music for the rest of the night or whatever. Like, we did that for years. So it's a lot of footage from those times. A lot of footage from like us making a project and the shit that we was doing, the videos we was shooting, a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff, and we got a few interviews of like some key players that was around that time. So it's definitely gonna paint a picture.
I'm definitely excited to see that.
Yeah.
So what's a song that you thought was gonna be a hit but didn't actually perform as well as you thought?
Damn, some good ass questions.
I told you I was studying.
Yeah. What was a song that I thought was a hit and it didn't perform that well? I can't be specific. I don't know. I never got asked that, so I don't really know. But once it don't perform well, I'm off it.
Yeah.
So I can't even really say like something that just like hurt my heart, because I ain't had that experience yet.
Yeah, you just kind of move on and go on to the next one.
Yeah. Like if it's not doing what I wanted to do or what I expected, and more so, I get that vibe with like not the song but the beat. So like a beat that I just love and I know this nigga gonna jump on. I had a bunch of those, you know what I mean? Where I think he gonna do it, he gonna love it, and then it's go to the next beat. But songs not really.
I think a lot of producers face that though.
Hell yeah. All my favorite beats, niggas still ain't rapped.
I feel like it's coming. The day just gonna come. But it'd be like when you least expect, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us about Playmakers and how did y'all branch into the fashion industry?
So the Playmakers is my production company. It's me and 4 other producers: Ghetto Guitar, Kenny Stunton, Jet, and McNabb. And it started, me and Jet started it, and Jet is over there. And we done known each other since we was kids. You know what I'm saying? So he taught me how to use Pro Tools and FL Studios, and we was like, that was like my guy. When I found out something new, I'm calling him. You know what I'm saying? And when we hustled up, my first pair of monitors I bought from this dude in the street, and I know exactly where he just stole them from. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta walk past this nigga every day. You know what I'm saying? The nigga who he stole them from. You know what I mean? And we put our money in together on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, it was always that. And at first we started out as Young Boss Squad when I was in like high school, and I was rapping, he was rapping, and we was doing everything. And when we got a little bit older, the Young wasn't really making sense and the Boss Squad wasn't really making sense. And he was like, hey, let's call our shit the Playmakers. You know what I mean? And from there, it just was all about producing. It was all about engineering. It was all about just production. And we was just trying to get around like-minded people. And shit, just moving around like Atlanta, moving around the south of Atlanta. We just kind of got our name from there. And then when the success started coming, then it just became like global. And Kenny is my little brother. McNabb, I done known McNabb for years. He was like under Greg Street, if niggas know who Greg Street is in Atlanta, legend, you know what I'm saying? He was under Greg Street for the longest. Ghetto Guitar, met Ghetto Guitar. We had did sold out dates together. Sold out dates. A lot of huge shit. I can't think of them right now. Sorry. And it was just like all my friends, you know what I mean? So when I got some money, you know, it was like, you know what I'm saying? Let's just put this on paperwork, you know what I mean? And that's just how we've been going, you know, since. I'm trying to find some like new young guys, but you know, that's kind of like the backstory on the Playmakers though.
How's that going to search for some young guys?
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult. Cause
you don't want to just have anybody under your brand.
That, you just got to do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to see what this person got going on, and it's not just people from Atlanta. You know what I mean? So, you know, one guy might be from somewhere else, and what I'm learning is, you know, niggas be having their own little shit going on, and, you know, I'm coming into your environment, and I don't know what type of nigga you is, so it's just difficult. It's difficult.
For sure. So how did you guys branch into the fashion industry? Seeing the pop-up shops?
So my guy Licks in LA, I think he actually might be from Atlanta, but I met him in LA, and he just like the Playmakers, like the brand, like Turbo, you know what I mean? And we just sat down and talked one day, and he had already had his own brand, Have a Safe Fun Weekend, and I was wearing his shit before we had even like started really clicking in. And we just came up with some designs. We sat down and just kind of like made a plan, you know what I mean, of some shit that we wanted to try. It was like super organic, super like not uptight. It's like, you know, I like this, throwing spitballing ideas and shit. And we came up with some shit, and it was doing so well online that he was like, let's do some pop-up shops. And we could do one in Atlanta, we can do one in New York, we was gonna do it in like all the major cities still. Right. And you know, the one in Atlanta just went so well, it was just like kind of unexpected because I'm not a fashion designer, he is, you know what I'm saying? I was just more so like getting my brand out there, letting people, you know, be involved in what, you know, I'm involved in, and, you know, create some cool shit, really, you know what I mean? And when I seen the pop-up go so well, like, it was a guy from Spain, that flew all the way from Spain to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he came just for the pop-up shop, spent all his money. Like, he didn't have no money. I think he bought like a round trip ticket. He didn't have. He said he spent everything to come to the pop-up shop just to come fuck with me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hard. And just like other guys in Atlanta and just from like other closer cities like the Carolinas and shit, it was just like such a thing. Even New York, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was such a thing like that I didn't even know like I could tap into, you know what I mean? And it was just like super organic. So even now, like, we making new designs and we just, you know, we still pushing, but it was all organic, bro. We just want to make some cool shit, especially me. Like, I don't want to come and, you know, jump into some shit too soon and act like I'm really that. Like, I really want to learn the culture. I want to learn, you know, what's cool and what's not cool, what's like dick ridey and what's not dick ridey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to just jump into it. So it was all just, let's create some cool shit and see what happens.
Well, that's super crazy for that to be like your first like branch into fashion that you sell out like that.
Yeah.
People coming from Spain, like, that's crazy.
That shit fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it kind of showed you like your impact and influence.
Yeah. And I met some cool guys there. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas that I'm working with today. You know what I mean? Just producer wise and just musician wise. Like, I met some cool people. So it was like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's all networking. It was all just good. I had fun.
That sounds amazing. So what is your main goal for Playmakers?
I mean, honestly, for Playmakers, like, I just want to create opportunities for like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like me. That's just trying, working hard. You know what I'm saying? Want to really impact something. Want to change their family lives. Like, that's really what is that. Like, I'm like the platform for that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you don't know these guys at this admin label, or if you don't understand like a publishing versus a co-pub deal, like, you know, my experience is naturally going to tell you this shit, you know, as you start going up, because all of these things happen as like success comes. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just that, like, get as many young like-minded niggas together and change everybody's lives. You know what I mean? I don't really care for like, yeah, I just signed this nigga. I don't really care for that. It's more so like, oh, you a dope nigga, you cool, and you work hard, and you know what I'm saying? You just like me. Right. Come on, little nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, nigga. And this is how this shit go. You know what I mean? Get you some money, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Let's go up together.
So it's like a mentorship in a way.
I wouldn't even call it that. Yeah, like, yeah, that's super specific. You know what I'm saying? It's more so like a brotherhood, like a fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Like, for producers, like, because who's really is in this music industry, it's hard to find genuine people. Yeah. So it's like, you either signing with a nigga because of something or for a certain reason, or y'all grew up together and he want to see you win. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of no real in between. You know what I mean? So for me, the end all be all, I want 1,000 niggas to be able to say, yeah, Turbo changed my life. Yeah, Turbo paid me, got me my first $1 million. Turbo got me my first $100,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that type of shit.
I think that's super hard because, you know, most production deals are just like signing for the money. Sometimes they got an A&R, sometimes they set you up with sessions, but like, you're actually trying to like be hands-on and make sure that they're getting in sessions, working with these artists, like building with each other, creating with each other. So that's super dope. Like, I'm excited to see how that turns out. Yeah. So what do you personally believe is your biggest hit?
Drip Too Hard. Shit is Diamond. Yeah. I don't have any other Diamond songs. And like, before you know, streaming and all that shit, like, Diamond was super hard to get. Like, that was like Michael Jackson shit. Yeah. So like, when I went Diamond, it was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, cool. Before that, I was just a couple years before that, I remember specifically DM and Metro. And he went Diamond with like a Post Malone and Sway Lee song. I was like, damn, like, what the fuck? Like, Metro went Diamond. Like, I just couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And then they was telling me, oh yeah, Drip Too Hard, 8 times platinum. Like, a couple years later, it was 9 times platinum. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like that's one of my biggest ones for sure.
So what was that reaction when it went Diamond?
We got to get a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more so like it's possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? And and just really like I just believe in myself a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like with my ideas and my thoughts. Like I don't think about none of the other weird shit that pops up in your mind as a producer. Like that was like solidification. Like yeah, for sure did that. For sure, like yeah, created that whole time.
Possibilities.
Yeah. So it was more so like a jump start for me. Like hey, let's keep going. I want a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I want a BET award. I ain't gonna cap. Like fucking VMA. I want all the awards. You know what I'm saying? Like people make it seem kind of corny. You know what I'm saying? But shit, I like the motherfuckers.
What are some awards that you had?
BMI awards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Number one songs, number one albums. You know, all type of platinum and gold plaques and shit. But I need that gold motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That cup.
You're gonna get it.
Yeah,
You just gotta speak it into existence.
For sure. I'm gonna get it for sure. That's my goal for sure.
What's your favorite song that you produce?
Probably Quarantine Queen. Or I would say Yosemite. That was a like super duper like dope vibe. We was in Hawaii with Travis, so that was like a super dope vibe. And I think we did we didn't do top floor. We did something else that didn't come out that same night, but yeah, favorite.
What do you think is the importance of social media as a producer?
Shit, man, it's never gonna be a time like this again. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this is a nigga shot. Like they paying people for reels and TikToks and shit. Like that shit was never like that. You know what I mean? Like this is your magnifying glass where you could have a page you could post every day and you can gain some traction. Like look how many niggas done won from social media. DC Young Fly, Drewski, goddamn fucking light skinned Keisha, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, Young Baby Tate, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Just like are just coming up just solely off of what they do from their social media pages and the content that they post. And you know, now somebody comes and see they shit where they couldn't see it before, when in the past you have to fly to my city and I have to be making enough noise at a certain time for you to come down here for you to really see. It's like now you can see that from the comfort of your own home. Right. And then even being on the other side when you inside these labels and in these meetings, like they're looking at your social media. So if you posted 7 months ago, it's like they off you. So
you gotta be consistent.
Yeah. But I feel like that's a nigga platform. Like it's super important. Take advantage of it.
So you once posted on Twitter, I made some shit last night so hard, I can't even listen to it. So how often do you listen to your own music? And if you don't listen, like what's your favorite kind of music to listen to?
So to answer the second question, I've been on some jazz shit lately. My mom was driving in my car one day and she left like the jazz station on the shit. So now whenever I get in the car, it just naturally come on before I plug up my phone. So sometimes I just bop that motherfucker and just listen to it my whole little ride. So between that and then I've been listening to like this YouTube page called Chill Hop, where it's just like background like music. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, I don't know who be producing the beats, but it's like, you know, like shit that I just have playing through the crib. And I've been on that wave lately. But I try to listen to my music as like as much as I can, you know what I'm saying? Like so I can really critique it. So I make a beat, get in the car, play it in the car, you know what I'm saying? Play the songs in the car, play them on different speakers, you know what I'm saying? Just to like see how it hit, but as much as I can.
Are you your toughest critic?
I think so. Can't nobody else tell me this shit, man. Even if they wanted to, it's like they ain't. So yeah, I feel like I gotta tell myself this shit. Yeah.
So how do you reach back out to the producer community? What's your way of doing that?
This is one way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
interviews.
Yeah, and just really like saying how it is. You know what I mean? Because I only run into certain producers, you know, at certain times. And, you know, if I'm out or I'm doing something, we might not be able to have like such a specific conversation like me and you having right now. You know what I mean? So this is one way because you speaking from the producer community. Right. And Yeah, shit. I just try to like check niggas out. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of niggas that DM me, I watch them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll watch their page, or if somebody say, "Oh, check this out," like if I see it, then I'll literally check it out. It's never like, "Oh yeah, fuck that shit." And try to give feedback as much as I can. Like a nigga post, give them some words of encouragement. You know, shit that I would want when I was coming up.
So what tips would you give to beat makers or loop makers to get people's attention?
Consistency. Same thing I've been saying for years. Is like, if you telling me, you know, you want to work or whatever, and you DMing me or whatever, first thing I'm gonna do is click your page. If your shit private, I can't see what you do. If you posted something and it says the numbers, November, you know, the actual date and not 2 days ago or a day ago, then I know you're not consistent. You know what I'm saying? So I might not even listen to it, because what you're doing today might be completely different from what you did in November. So I would say just stay consistent. You know what I mean? Stay consistent with your DMs. Like, I like seeing niggas like this Section 8, and it was funny as hell to me. So Section 8 is my little brother, you know what I'm saying? That's baby producer, if nobody know. And we was in the studio one day, and we just both posted something, you know what I'm saying? So we added each other, and I clicked his DM on his message. And like 2016, he DM'd me like, "I'm coming for your neck, nigga." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was one of his messages, and I was like, "Nigga, like, what the fuck? Like, this what you was on back then?" You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like, we just laughed so fucking long about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I like clicking or finally seeing like a producer shit, and he been trying. You know what I'm saying? For so long, I just haven't seen it. So it might be guys from fucking 2016, 2017 that been DMing me, but in 2021, you just DM me today and I finally seen it.
Right.
So I like to see that, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I go back to that old pack. Like, niggas will put a Dropbox link in there, and it's like, I go back and see what it sounded like when you first was sending it to me, as opposed to what it sounded like now. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, I don't know. It's just something about that shit. Like, it's like, yeah, you really want this shit. You ain't gonna stop. You know I don't see it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you still, like, today doing this shit. Like, I fuck with that shit. Yeah.
How do you recommend producers to lock in with artists for, like, longevity, to be able to do projects together, like how you do with Gunna and Thug?
Same thing, availability. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of that shit is just from being there. You know what I mean? Even with me and Gunna, like, Gunna was like the first person to really like recognize me as a producer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and see niggas and be like, hey, you know, he got beats. Yeah, he can engineer, but he got beats. He got some hard ass beats.
Right.
He made this song for me. Oh, you don't know what song it is? He'll sing it. Yeah, yeah, that song. He made that beat. He got beats. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, me naturally seeing that, it was like, I gotta fuck with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, you down there believe in me. Like, I gotta just, like, give whatever resource I have to you. You know what I mean? And shit, man, we done had a lot of nights. It was just like, we're not coming here to do anything. We're just coming here and we're just here. You know what I mean? And if I did what I was supposed to do yesterday, then I'm gonna be prepared for the day. You know what I mean? So it's just all availability. It's all consistency. It's all really wanting this shit and not wanting what comes with this shit.
Right. So what would you say is the difference between composing music versus making beats? Or is there a difference?
Yeah. It's a difference between fucking Michael Jackson's Thriller and, you know, whatever like TikTok song is going on right now today.
No, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that, you'll naturally feel the difference. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's the same thing I said with just like being critiquing and going back and forth and like composing some shit and really making it be a lifelong thing as opposed to a short-term thing. I know those sessions, they was going through them sessions for weeks and months and perfecting it and making it really, you know what I'm saying?
Like it was a whole creative process.
Exactly. Like, and still that's putting in the work.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a certain level of putting in the work. So I feel like that's the starting difference. Like, You got to put in the work. You got to give it the time. You got to really, you know what I'm saying, put your all into it, and you'll know, like, okay, this is a full song. This is it. We finna give it out to the world. As opposed to, yeah, I'm finna make this song because I'm finna upload this shit to TuneCore. I'm gonna put this shit on TikTok like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta really want it and really put your all into it.
Have a whole vision for it.
And sometimes that take time. It's not, you can't always get it on that first try. Sometimes you can, but sometimes you just can't, and you just gotta allow yourself that time.
I think that's the problem with a lot of like artists. They just record and they don't like put too much into like the post-production. They just record and want to put it out, but like they're not trying to like add on to it, take away from it, see what you need to add, see what you need to take away, get other people's opinion.
Yeah, I was watching Mike Dean shit, and he was saying how I think it was like Devil in a New Dress or something. Like they did like these things called like drum days or whatever, where they would go in and change the drums like 50 times until they found like a specific type of drum. Like, bro, that's like real legendary shit. Like Kanye really a legend, you know what I'm saying? Like to think to want to do some shit like that. Like once I catch 1 or 2 drum loops, like I don't want to change it because my mind might just get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for them to say that that's what they do, like
that's a hell of a creative process.
Yeah. Like you doing it for sure. Yeah.
Do you think a lot of people are just making music for the money and not for the actual craft?
Yeah, some people. I wouldn't say a lot of people. I think it's making it hard to notice the people who are not making it for the money.
Right.
Yeah, because it's just saturated.
So, and I seen that you talked about this in another interview about YouTube University. So do you think now that it's easier to teach yourself versus to actually like go to school for something?
Yeah, and I guess it just depends on what type of learner you is, but it's no excuse. You know what I'm saying? If you say you want something, it's so many different outlets to be able to learn about it and get close to it. Some niggas will complain about not having money. Some niggas will complain about not having the resources. But shit, it's internet everywhere. Your phone, your smartphone, all this shit. Like, you can learn so many different ways. You know what I mean? So if you choose not to, or you don't want to use the tools that you have, you ain't going to be ready for the success and the shit that comes with this shit. Because it's even more like line of focus. So
how did you create your brand?
Which one?
Your brand as Turbo the Great, your brand as Playmakers. Like, what was the process for you creating your brands?
Brick by brick. Shit, I'm still creating it. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like I got a lot of work to do. And it's a lot of just being consistent. It's a lot of pushing the music forward, doing shit that I doing better than I did yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like doing more in my creative process than I did a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And not being scared to like think outside the box. It's a whole lot of that. And I feel like in my music it shows. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the difference between, you know, other niggas. Some niggas you'll get a lot of placements, but where you get a lot of moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm more so focused on like creating moments. Like I'm not, you know, of course I love getting placements. I love working with certain niggas, but if we don't create a moment, it's just like, man, we just what we did. Yeah, you know what I mean?
What advice would you give to producers trying to build their own brand?
Be consistent. Learn. Really learn. Like, not tell me what Buddy just told you. Like, really learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been reading books. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never used to do that shit. Now I really like you'll catch me sitting down reading a book. You'll catch me on the plane with a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't my thing before. So it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of learning, it's a lot of question asking. And real questions, not like some gossipy type bullshit. Like real, like, you know, I know you're asking me this because you just looked this up and you want to get a better, you know, thought process on it. You know what I mean? Like, right. Like it's a lot of that to create this. You know what I'm saying? And before all that, you got to be a leader. Like, you can't be no following ass nigga or no nigga that just want to go with the trend. Like, you got to have your own mind. You know what I'm saying? To even walk in these footsteps for real.
So what do you think is the importance of building and maintaining relationships with other producers?
I mean, I don't really got no like methodology behind that shit. Like the producers that I fuck with, these are really my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like how any other friend, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't cross your buddy, you know what I'm saying? When he needs you, be there. When you need him, you know what I'm saying? He got you. Like, but I don't got no real, like, black and white to that. Is, all the niggas that I fuck with, they're my friends. Yeah.
So do you think that it's important to have relationship with other producers though, especially like as an upcoming producer?
Yeah. Cause, we don't know everything.
Yeah.
So shit, I ain't gonna lie. I watch a lot of random Instagram posts and might really learn something. You know what I'm saying? From like a producer that's not really known or somebody that's like on Instagram just like doing tutorials or some shit. If I come across it, I watch it and might really learn something and put it into my own, you know what I'm saying, like path. So yeah, it's just be open to it, to everything.
What are some other ways you can make money as a producer?
Syncs. I just scored a movie. So I just scored a NBA documentary. And they just showed it at the Tribeca Festival. But it's basically like speaking on like how quarantine affected the NBA or whatever. So that's one way, you know what I'm saying, to do it.
I'm guessing the song is Quarantine Clean.
Nah. I scored the entire documentary.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not like a song-based type of thing. It's like real compositions and music and shit like that. Yeah. The fucking sounds. You know what I'm saying? That's one way to do it. Same thing, just being open to everything. Like, there's so many ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
just gotta think outside the box.
Yeah, like you can make tutorials now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be a producer and make tutorials and make money from your reels. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really having that umph in you. Like, man, I need to make me some money. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's so many ways to make that shit.
So what was it like making that documentary soundtrack? What was that like?
Oh, I never did it before, so it's so fucking difficult.
In what way?
With my mind, you know what I'm saying? Like you're literally creating the mood. You know what I'm saying? Like music is like, it controls like your mood. You know what I'm saying? So you creating the mood of what's being shown on the screen right now. You know what I'm saying? And me just trying to make sure I'm creating the right mood. Me, you know what I'm saying? Like wondering with the producers and with the directors is how they gonna feel about it. Just like doing a lot of thinking and a lot of like second guessing and shit. Like that was like the hardest thing for me. But once I like sent back to like the first cuts and the feedback that I got from it, it was like, oh, okay, so yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this how this shit go. Like I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real. Not simple, but it's real. Like if they don't like this, they don't like this. They're gonna tell you to change it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the worst thing that can happen.
That's the worst thing that can happen. It ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, you fucked up the whole movie. Because even like Tribeca Festival, that's a big festival.
Yeah.
That's where Baby first like showed his Untrapped shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I'm from New York, so.
Yeah, so you remember, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, that's where they go to these festivals and they show all the feature films that they're trying to get into the major studios and shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's huge.
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
Yeah.
So what was your reaction when you got to see it like all put together?
I mean, I was just happy that my music was playing back there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had watched the clip so much, like I didn't even care how it was gonna go, you know what I'm saying? But it was like even before like the first cut that they sent me with like the temporary music in it, like it was so like it make you want to cry, you know what I'm saying? So just to be a part of that shit was like, just one of them proud moments that I can say I did, you know what I'm saying?
Did it motivate you a little more?
Yeah. When I got the opportunity, I was motivated because, you know what I'm saying, my man Spike, he came to me with it. You know what I'm saying? Spike Jordan. He came to me with it and was like, hey, I want you to be a part of it. I'm like, nigga, me? Like,
that's
shit.
amazing.
I'm like, all right, well, cool. Like, what we need to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, I was motivated just by that, just from people just seeing that potential. So I'd be grateful for it, really.
Do you think producers should be willing to settle for less of the splits to get their career going, or like, do you think they should hold their value?
Yeah. What is the value? You don't know what the value is until you goddamn jump out there and swim. So
Till you get somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, like, and that could be another way to clip your wings too. You know what I'm saying? If your first placement, you're making it difficult for these people to clear it with you. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have that Timberland catalog or that Pharrell catalog that makes them think like, wow, why is he making it difficult? You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that, it's like, oh, he's just a difficult person. You know what I'm saying? And whoever it is, if they're big or small, they could say the right thing, and the next person and the next person and the next person might not even want to be bothered with you because they know what their experience was with somebody else, with their friend, you know what I'm saying, that they know. So yeah, like sometimes you have to, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of times you'll have to and you don't even know why. Just be grateful, you know what I'm saying, for the opportunity, especially if you ain't never did it before. Like, be grateful for the opportunity and just keep working. A lot of niggas want it right now, and it's like, nah, you have to get in the mud. You got to get dirty. You have to go through it. I still, to this day, take lower splits. What, we gonna not put the song out?
I mean, that's all being humble. You get what I'm saying? A lot of producers not humble.
It's humble and just understanding the business. If I got down, bitch and whine about 5% or something, you know what I'm saying? Or, in advance or some shit like that, the music ain't coming out.
They fucking up relationships.
Yeah, and it's like at the end of the day, I want the music to come out. I want the moment to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because advances it's gonna come to you regardless. And advance is exactly what it is. They're advancing you the money. So why would I, complain about this shit unless I really feel like I deserve this shit or I really need it for whatever reason because of whatever expenses I have it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I still to this day you have to. It's a part of the business.
So hearing how, you spoke so like highly of like Gunna and Thug in this interview and all your interviews and like how inspiring and motivating that he is to you and other people, like even the way that my artist talks about them, how are you keeping yourself motivated with everything that's going on right now with YSL?
It's just a day by day type of thing. It's not I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting a few jail calls a day, you know what I'm saying? So you can hear from them, you know what I mean? But I don't know, it's just like, shit, you just got to stay creative, you know what I'm saying? More so for when these folks calling back, like you got some good news, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more so like that, because if not, then we just going to be talking about some bullshit. Like, at least, I can say, yeah, shit, I'm working on this, we just did this shit, and when you get out, we got them doing it, woo, woo, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really know. Like, shit, I'm just staying creative, just staying in the studio. There ain't really much else to do.
Just keep working.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. Okay, so this is going to be the last question. And of course, I have to ask this because I'm a female manager. So how do you feel having a female manager has impacted your career? And what's your view on women in the industry?
It adds like a little, not fluorescence, but like softness to it all. You know what I'm saying? Like women pay attention to detail, shit that niggas won't do. You know what I'm saying? And the right woman, you know what I'm saying, is gonna like fight for you. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like I feel like my manager don't have no problem fighting for me. You know what I'm saying? So like that's one thing that I can tell, like the difference between, men and women. But I don't know, like shit, y'all rule the world, you know what I mean? So
exactly,
you got your own little antics, you know what I'm saying? Like to make people do whatever you need them to do, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's working for me, you know what I mean? It's working for me. I don't really know, you know what I'm saying? Like that's more so like a female type of question. I just feel like those are some of the key things that I notice, you know what I mean, from dealing with certain niggas and then dealing with certain women.
No, it was a good answer.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to Producer Talk Turbo. That was a great interview. Thank you for coming here.
I appreciate you. I thank y'all for having me and being able to finally do this. Yeah.
Run that back, Turbo.